something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. This place is jumping off hard as it can get. No, we won't ever stop dancing on the edge. We like it dangerous, we like to see you split. Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me tell you something. 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 Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, we have a ton to talk about because we have to talk about this crypto correction that we have been discussing here over the last couple of weeks. We have some big news coming out of China with miners leaving China, moving into potentially America. We also have some updates coming out of none other than yours truly, Elon Musk. I guess that's not yours truly, is it? That'd be just Elon Musk. And we are going to be answering the question, is this crypto crash over? And if it's not, what should we be doing to move forward into this crypto time here? I am joined as always by your president, Kinda Crypto Tim. How you doing, Tim?
What's up, everybody? The Hurley / not XRP hat is back, making a reappearance. People asked about it last week. Just clarifying, it's not XRP. Don't buy XRP, but it's Hurley. Buy Hurley.
Heard it here first, folks. Don't buy XRP. We are also joined, as never, by definitely not high Zach, who is definitely not high. How you doing, Zach?
What's up, guys? Back again. Smay is at the dentist once again, so I'm filling in. Good to see y'all.
Smay's gonna be looking like a pirate before all this is over. He's always at the tennis, man. He keeps them in business. Guys, we have a lot to talk about today. We already have a super chat from Matt C. I totally agree with what you said. If you guys want to see what he said, scroll up in chat. Thank you so much for that. We are going to be talking about China and miners potentially moving out of China, and then we're going to do some technical analysis on Bitcoin, and we have a lot to talk about in today's live stream. If you do enjoy today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. But let's go ahead and jump on to my screen. We have an article here from Cointelegraph that says Chinese Bitcoin miners abandon ship ahead of incoming crypto crackdown. This is pretty interesting, guys. 3 Bitcoin mining companies have announced plans to wind down operations in China following stern warnings from Chinese officials. Believe it or not, China is actually attempting to cut carbon emissions, and one of the places that they're targeting is the Bitcoin mining sector. Bitcoin general downtrend continued on Monday morning, despite the coin showing a strong 17% rebound overnight. As the coin continues to nurse wounds from its recent 43% drop from an all-time high, more turbulence could yet be in store for Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency market. Several large Bitcoin miners opted to cease operations in China this past week following news that Chinese authorities were planning a crackdown on cryptocurrency mining. By Monday morning, 3 Bitcoin mining pools had announced plans to halt activity in China. BTC.top, which accounted for as much as 2.5% of overall Bitcoin hash rate during the past week, said it would close up shop on the Chinese mainland and shift its operations to North America. There are some massive implications for this, guys. We're going to read through this and then we will talk about them. Huobi cryptocurrency exchanges offshoot company Huobi Mall also announced on Sunday that it would no longer sell crypto mining rigs in China and that it would suspend its mining operations there. Meanwhile, mining company Hashcow said it would cease purchasing new Bitcoin mining rigs for the time being. On Friday, Hong Kong authorities also talked about something that we actually discussed on Friday's stream about accredited investors only being able to buy. We're going to go ahead and wrap out this article here, but the point of this is as follows. There has been an exodus of mining from China. We saw this start with one of the one of the larger mining provinces in China having mining banned about a month ago. I think that was Xinjiang, northwest China, had mining shut down. That accounted for, I want to say, somewhere around 25% of all mining in China, which, if you don't know, China makes up more than 50% of global hash rate for Bitcoin. That is a major vulnerability. So it's actually a very good thing that there is mining power moving out of China. So I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. And Tim, I know you have some things to say about this. What are you thinking about this?
About the whole thing in China. So here's the thing. Like, we're going to talk a little bit more, but I actually think this is long-term good for Bitcoin.
Agreed.
Despite the fact that there was a lot of unrealistic hate against Bitcoin and the environmental impact, we aren't against moving away from fossil fuels. I don't think any person is sitting there saying, no, we have to use fossil fuels for crypto. That wasn't the point. The point was it wasn't as bad as everyone was painting it out to be. But like we're going to say here in just a second, because Elon is a part of this. Again, you guys are probably tired of hearing Elon. The truth is, we're probably a little tired of hearing Elon.
Yeah.
But we do have to use it when he comes in and there's something important that he notes on. For example, this tweet that we're about to read, he literally says, listen, Bitcoin can work if blah, 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 this happens. And he's specifically talking about China. He's specifically talking about moving away from China. This is what we talked about back on May 13th. Was this Elon's motive the entire time to put pressure to move mining away from China, not only because it centralized, there's a lot of power there, but also because it's where it uses fossil fuel? Was he just trying to put pressure on the entire field to move away from fossil fuels? It looks like that's what he was, what's happening right now is exactly what he was wanting.
Yeah, we actually talked about that on my first appearance on Around the Blockchain over on BitBoy's channel. We talked about how Elon Musk bashing Bitcoin for its energy consumption very well may be Mr. Elon Musk's way of saying, here's a big problem, world. I'm going to come in and fix it by creating solar panel-driven cryptocurrency miners or something like that. There are so many different avenues that he could be taking from this. We've discussed all of that, but I do want to show you the tweet and how this all ties into today's news. Elon Musk said this: I agree that this can be done over time. What he's referencing is up here. Brett Winston said, let's start here. He says, previously we demonstrated how Bitcoin mining could allow solar plus battery systems to economically scale to provide a larger share of grid energy. As expected in this update, the result holds across different historical Bitcoin price hashing timeframes. Essentially, he's saying that Bitcoin can help the world transition to renewables, and I think he's absolutely right on that. Yep. Elon Musk says, I agree that this can be done over time, with emphasis on can, but recent extreme energy usage growth could not possibly have been done so fast with renewables. This question is easily resolved if the top 10 hashing organizations just post audit numbers of renewable energy versus not. So let's go back to full screen and let's discuss this. Tim, I know you have some things to say about this. What are you thinking? What is he getting at here?
Well, ultimately what he is getting at, and we've known this the whole time. So first of all, when he first developed Tesla and when he started working on SpaceX, it has always been about helping the environmental, the world and the environmental impact that fossil fuels has on it. Mm-hmm. He's never been a fan of that. But what he is literally going back and forth saying, first of all, we talked about this on that May 13th show. Why is he not receiving Bitcoin, but yet he's not going to sell it either? Clearly, he is not done with Bitcoin. Yep. And I don't know if he really knew, Jebb, like how... I mean, I think he had to know something was going to happen, but I don't think he expected the amount of backlash he got.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to go back and clarify, guys, I'm not an enemy of Bitcoin. I'm saying change must happen.
Yep.
And in this news of what's happening with China, like I think that article talked about the two of the largest pools that hold like 2.5% of all mining have literally said, not we are thinking about, we are closing up. They said we are closing up shop and moving to North America. That's exactly what he was wanting the whole time. So the good news is, my other thought on this is, though, there will be a time, and I'm very excited. I think this is a lot closer than we think. There'll be a time where Elon will simply be a spectator like the rest of us, and his say will stop having anything to do with anything when it comes to crypto. Now, there are some things I agree with Elon. There's some things I kind of disagree with him. But ultimately, if one man's opinion can sway the entire market, we have a problem. And I think that what we actually saw over the last couple of weeks was the final separation between Elon's effect on Bitcoin. Now, he still has effect on other coins, but I think we're actually seeing his ability to affect Bitcoin be diminished, which he probably even will say is a good thing.
Yeah, separation of Elon and cryptocurrency, I suppose you could say. Here's the thing, guys. The whole idea of, is that a Smangatan? Ooh, is that a Smangatan? Who is this? Oh my gosh, it's a Smangatan. Hello, Smay.
Hi.
Why aren't you producing the show today?
I had to get my tooth fixed.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna sit right
Okay. I guess Smay is
I don't
on
think
stream
you'll be on
now.
the camera.
I don't think they even
here.
saw
No,
you.
I don't need to be on camera. I'm right here.
Okay, well, guys, your favorite Smangatan is back. Smay, I'm curious. What do you think about Bitcoin miners moving out of China?
Yeah, let me come.
You want to use the...
Hi, everybody. What was the question? Ask the question again. Come on. We don't have all day.
I said, what do you think Bitcoin miners moving out of China means for Bitcoin?
Oh, they're good. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. How's your tooth feeling, buddy?
Better.
Oh,
I didn't
man.
get numbed, so it kind of hurts.
Oh,
nice.
gosh. All right, cool. Well, guys, here's the thing. Bitcoin miners moving out of China, I think, is a very good thing. Why? Because the vast majority of Bitcoin mining right now takes place in China. Bitcoin is designed to be a decentralized ecosystem, so if all of the mining power is in one country, especially an authoritarian country like China, I know you guys wanted me to say that for the last, 20 minutes. You only get it once, so make sure you screen cap that. Here's the thing, guys. People moving miners out of China is a very good thing for Bitcoin's decentralization. This is not something that we should be worried about. In the same way, China trying to ban and put more regulations and restrictions on Bitcoin is not something that we should concern ourselves with. In fact, I think it's a very good thing, considering that Bitcoin and China's government are ideologically opposed to one another. With all of that said, let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin chart and see what's going on over here. Guys, Bitcoin has obviously been in a major correction for the last couple of months. Ever since all-time high, Bitcoin is currently still down 41%. Over the weekend, several things happened that I want to update you on. Number one, if we go out to the BLX chart and go out to the weekly chart, you guys will see that we are still currently, actually, let's go back to Bitcoin. My normal chart here, you can see that Bitcoin is still below the 20 weekly exponential moving average. In fact, it is currently using it as resistance. That level that we need to beat is $38,000. It's actually closer to $39,000. The 20 weekly exponential moving average, in case you guys don't know, is something that we teach here in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy in this video right here. The 20 EMA is the level, the moving average that defines whether you're in an uptrend or a downtrend on the daily chart, and whether you're in a bull market or a bear market on the weekly chart. It's not very common that during a bull market we see a weekly chart close below the 20 weekly EMA, and it does bring into question, are we entering a bear market? We've discussed this before, and we're discussing this even more later on in today's stream, but I just want you to keep that in your back pocket for right now. Bitcoin is below that critical level. Moving up here to the daily chart, I also want to show you what the 200 is looking like. The 200 daily simple moving average is another critical level of support that Bitcoin likes to hold on to during bull markets. As you can see, we are currently below it, and it is currently sitting at $40,000. What that means is that we have a very important zone of support sitting right around 38,000. Let's go ahead and put a flat horizontal level right here, right in between 38,000 to $40,000. Bitcoin needs to get above this zone right here. The reason being is that the top of this zone is constituted by the 200 daily simple moving average. The bottom of this zone is constituted by the 20 weekly exponential moving average, as you can see right here. It's very important that Bitcoin gets back up above this. So the question now is, will it? Let's look here on the weekly chart, RSI and MACD. You can see that the RSI is sitting around 46. It pulled all the way down to 44. That is definitely not massively overextended territory like we saw in 2018 whenever Bitcoin pulled all the way back down to 30. Generally speaking, bear markets will bottom out around 30. So that means that if we are in a bear market, which I really don't want to just say we are, there's not enough evidence to say right now that we are. It's on the table, but it's not confirmed yet. If we are, Based on historical analysis, we should be expecting to see Bitcoin pull all the way down to 30 on the weekly chart RSI, which it has not done yet, which means that if we are moving into a bear market, there might still be more to come. I want to be completely honest with you guys, even if it's not something that you want to hear. As we look out here to the weekly chart also, we're going to see that the MACD is very bearish, but on the daily chart, we do have some good news, and that is that the MACD has been converging bullish on itself for the last several days. Ever since May 19th, it has been starting to converge bullish on itself. It's been doing it relatively slowly, but as of today, it's starting to speed up as we do have a green candlestick in motion. Now, this green candlestick is not done. This is still opened, but as soon as this green candlestick closes, if it closes where it is right now, this will be what is known as a bullish engulfing candlestick. That's where you have a red candlestick and a larger green candlestick to follow it. The reason that's important is because the green engulfed the red. It basically means the bulls just beat the bears, and it could be a signal of a turning tide that could allow Bitcoin to move back up above that $40,000 level that is so critically important. We need to do that. Let me be very clear with you. If we stay below $38,000, there is a strong argument to be made that we are moving into a bear market. Just got to be honest with you. That is what the technicals are reading. That's why we want to see Bitcoin get above 40K. Even if it's not popular, I'm going to be the one to tell you that. Let's also look here at the TD sequential, though, because we do have some good news, and that is that TD sequential bottomed out here in Flash 9 on the 18th of May. We talked about this last week, and now we're still massively overextended on TD sequential. We're starting to see TD sequential change the color of these candlesticks in a way that we have not seen on Bitcoin in many years. The last time we saw this happen was back over here in November of 2018 when Bitcoin finally dropped below $6,000. Notice how we hit 9 on TD sequential here. We had our color change, and it meant that we were in one of the last legs of the bear market. Could this mean that we are in one of the last legs of this major correction? That is very possible. This is signaling that we should be looking for upwards movement. If we look here on the daily chart RSI, we can also see that the RSI has hit the lowest point that it has seen in over a year. We pulled back to 24 just a couple of days ago, and that is very important for anyone who is looking to be buying Bitcoin because that is an obvious buy signal. Generally speaking, whenever you see the 20 exponential moving average, the RSI bottom out like that, you want to be paying attention to it. So let's go to full screen, and I want to break down what exactly this means. Here's the thing, guys. Yes, Bitcoin is in a downtrend. Yes, Bitcoin is in hot water. I don't think we're entering a bear market. I genuinely don't believe that that's happening, and I've talked about why in the last several live streams. I'll break it down briefly for anyone who is here for the first time. Right now, we're seeing a massive correction on Bitcoin. Yes, but we saw the same thing happen in 2013 during a bull market. We pulled back 80% in the span of a couple of weeks and then went on to rally nearly 1,000x, actually over 1,000%. We saw a huge rally following that. The reason we're seeing a big correction right now, we're going to talk about several different reasons in a minute, but one of the main reasons is because we had not gone into a correction for so long. Bitcoin had been pulling back, Bitcoin had been rallying without correcting for so very long, and it was overdue for a correction, and now it all came at once. I wouldn't be worried about this. We do need to be paying attention because it's possible to move into a bear market from here. I don't think it's going to happen because of fundamental reasons, though. Let's look at chat, and if any of you guys have anything to say, then let's go ahead and talk.
Looking at, so there's people saying, you guys are going back and forth. Some people are saying, look at this. This is the trend. It's in a bear market. Some people are saying, no, it's not. The NAAN, do you know what that one is? Someone said, look at that. I'll find the quote.
No idea.
Chat.
By the way, guys, smash that like button if you haven't already. We got 2,300 people in here and only 300 likes. Hit that like button.
Yes. Someone said no bear market. Check the NAN numbers, the NAAN numbers. I don't know what that stands for.
I'm not familiar with that.
But
like the bread?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. We did have a couple super chats earlier we could answer. Really
sure,
quick,
let's do it.
I don't even think they don't. So Matt C started out. I think even before we went live, he said people who are panic selling just don't understand the volatility of crypto. Huge swings are normal because the space is in its infancy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah.
And then Kenneth Gardner said, "Coffee and crypto, hit that like button." I cannot agree with you more.
I cannot agree with you more.
But this is, I think, a really big thing. Let us know in chat. Nan is bread. Someone said, "Oh, I don't know." Not a number.
Not a number. Nan doesn't.
There's too many A's. Let us know what you guys think. Are you guys afraid that we are? Because this was something I did notice. I was looking at stuff yesterday that said this weekend was a new all-time high for the search is Bitcoin dying. What's funny is, though, that there was another article posted, I think, on Friday, and maybe we could look it up, Jebb. There's an article that said Bitcoin has died 400 times now.
I was already searching it. It's called Bitcoin obituaries. Yeah. Don't jump onto my screen yet because it's still loading. But guys, there's a website called 99bitcoins.com that ever since like 2012, it's been tracking every single time a news article came out saying that Bitcoin is done, and it has a counter. And for some reason, my internet isn't working, so I might not be able to show you. But nevertheless, it has a counter, and it shows you every single article where it says that Bitcoin died. It's at over 400 now.
Yeah.
People have been pronouncing Bitcoin dead since Bitcoin was born. That's just the nature of the space. That's how these infantile markets work. Nothing to be concerned about.
Another thing is, I mean, don't get me wrong, bears are super good at what they do. These people who are pumping FUD into the market. Oh, we're trying to get the internet going faster. Nice. Way to go, Smay. Doing producing from the floor.
I'm wondering why he was crawling over here.
One has to ask, what else can be thrown at the wall from a FUD perspective? I mean, we're really getting to a point where, like, if you just hate Bitcoin, you're out. What else can be thrown at it?
No,
it's survived right around this 38.
I have an analogy. It's actually like, by the way, before I say this is not a political statement. It's just an observation. So don't go thinking that I believe something that I might not. Okay? We clear? Good. Bitcoin is right now kind of turning into Trump a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Everything that you could possibly say about it has already been said. Like, everything's on the table. You can't surprise anyone anymore, and people are still supporting Bitcoin. That is not a political stance. It is simply an observation. I'm sure people on both sides can agree with me, but that's what I see happening on Bitcoin right now. Everything is on the table, and it's pretty funny because people keep trying to attack Bitcoin. We're like, okay, what else is new? You said that 25 times 20 years ago. Not 20 years ago, but you've been saying that forever. And I finally got the article up here. Let's go ahead and look at this real quick, Smay. Not Smay, Zach.
Definitely
I forgot about that. Guys, we have a chart here. This is new. This is new since the last time I saw this. They actually have a price chart, and they show us all the different articles wherever someone said that Bitcoin is dying or Bitcoin is ending. Look at this. Most recent death. Okay, Bitcoin died three days ago. Why Bitcoin is going to zero. Let's look at that one. We've died 22 times so far this year. We can see over here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When Tech Lead said that I remember someone commenting on our channel saying Tech Lead said it was going to zero. Tech Lead, my friend, You're wrong. I'm just saying. It's sad. Anyway, guys, I think we've kind of hit that donkey enough. Let's go ahead and read chat for a little bit. And by the way, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, you should. We are one of the fastest growing YouTube channels in the cryptocurrency space now. And the reason that we are is because we take our integrity very seriously. We want to tell you what you need to know, even if it's something that might not be popular. And we're trying to bring you as high quality information as we possibly can. If that's something you want to be a part of, subscribe to the channel and hit that post notification bell. Let's read chat for a second, and then we'll move on to our next story.
Yes, let's see. I'm trying to look for good ones because I'm not jumping on the political game. Just so you guys know,
Absolutely not.
That was not an endorsement of anyone.
That was not an endorsement.
Please do not take that as an endorsement. He's just trying to give an analogy, but it's the internet, so it's kind of hard to give analogies without people thinking that you are making a stance. There was a super chat that just said, "Patience and time is all we need. Lots of green today." Yeah, maybe. I mean, you're going to see later when we give our price predictions, we are kind of a little bit all over the place with price predictions because we are kind of in a place where it's hard to know exactly what's going to happen. But something that I think is interesting, and this was the technical analysis I was doing. Again, Jebb, you're going to have to remind me what the name of it is, but what is that like descending line of resistance called again? Descending
resistance level? What are you talking
I guess
about?
like if you looked at like there is a clear line that we kept bumping our head on over and over again in the last like week and a half we broke through today. So I think that's a bullish sign. Someone said that could be like a bull trap or whatever. We will see. But the other thing is, like I just said a second ago, so much has been thrown at Bitcoin in the last week and a half. So much FUD, so much bad news, so much trying to discourage you from being in. It's like, hey, at this point, not saying, we were sitting at 65,000 not too long ago, but there's not too much more you can throw at Bitcoin to get it to discourage people from getting in.
Yep.
And what I'm afraid of, I'm just going to be honest with you, what I'm afraid of is that all this FUD has worked very well to discourage the individual from investing in Bitcoin.
Yep.
And I know there's a lot of you that are never going to fall for that. If anything else we saw from the Elon story, that backlash that sent Twitter on fire with the boycott Tesla or don't buy Tesla or something like that was proof enough that the individuals still have a strong opinion on Bitcoin.
Yep.
But there are a lot of people who probably were discouraged by the whole thing. And my fear is that these corporations, these industries, these businesses, especially ones that were centralized, are going to see the writing on the wall and say, you know what, whether we like it or not, Bitcoin is going to be making some massive moves in the future. While everyone else is against it, let's go ahead and buy this up.
Yep.
And there will become a point in time where, don't get me wrong, I think that you'll still be able to get into a certain level. But I was talking with my brother this morning about it. I was saying, like, listen, someday money will be backed by Bitcoin.
Yep.
So what you're buying right now, like you'll be paid eventually in Bitcoin or a Bitcoin substance of something. What you collect right now is the more backing you have to put yourself at a higher level. But if you listen to the FUD and the news and you discourage yourself from buying more and more, you're just going to be behind. And these corporations that people are against, when people are like, oh, I'm against Wall Street, I'm against centralized banking, all this stuff, I'm like, well, if you sit around here and listen to all this fake news and FUD that's being thrown against Bitcoin and you don't buy, we're going to fall into the trap of being like, all right, we didn't fix the problem that was in the first place of too little amount of people hold too much money. So that's what I have in that matter. Jebb, if you don't have anything else, we can probably move on to our next segment.
Yeah, no, guys, I love what he said there, guys. You got to realize the institutions realize this is a giant buying opportunity. You don't want to miss it. We have some questions for you. In fact, we're putting questions in your mouth, and give us a 1 in chat if these are some of the questions that you are having right now. Why is all of crypto still correcting? Should I be worried about my investments? What are the top coins I need to be investing in right now? And most importantly, should I be worried about crypto's future? With those questions in mind, we have 4 points that we want to make to you. And these are the things that led to this crash. And based on our understanding of what led to this crash, we can then talk about why I think this crash is not going to last as long as some people think it will. Could be wrong on that, but I don't believe I am. The very first reason that crypto crashed and corrected so very hard is obviously because of Elon. If you guys don't remember, Elon Musk started tweeting about Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, and there was a major correction when he did that. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was on the 12th, maybe the 13th of May. That is when we came out saying, hey, I wonder, is Elon Musk trying to get these fossil fuel using miners to move away from fossil fuels and move to solar panels? And I had the idea over on BitBoy's channel, hey, is Elon Musk trying to say, hey, look, a big problem. Let's have Tesla, which, by the way, is not a car company. It is a technology company, come in and say, oh, we're going to create electric miners and use solar panels. I really wonder if that's what he's doing. No matter what he's doing, the point is this correction was already in swing, but it was a lot smaller before Elon Musk came out and said that a little over a week ago. The second thing that we saw happen was China start imposing new regulation. This is something that we have seen China do many times. It's not something that I think we should be worried about, but we cannot disagree with the fact that China FUD caused an even deeper, sharper correction in the cryptocurrency market. The third thing that we believe here is leading towards a pretty big amount of FUD in the cryptocurrency space is that tax season is starting to come to a close. Every single year when people get their tax returns, they get a lot of money, and if you look at the charts, historically, a lot of times people will take that money and they'll put it in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It helps to pump the market. That is starting to come to a conclusion right now. If you guys didn't know, the vast majority of Bitcoin's bullishness typically happens in Q4 of the year. That's October, November, and December. The vast majority of the bullishness tends to happen there. If you look over the historical data, then you will see that. We're leaving tax season, which is another one of the bullish times of the year, so that's something we need to keep in mind. And the fourth and final thing that I want to talk about here is the fact that the leverage traders who were in long positions just got absolutely annihilated over the last couple of weeks because a lot of them got stopped out or they got liquidated. And that is what I think a lot of them have done. So in my opinion, and in the opinion of our team here, those are four of the major things that caused this cryptocurrency correction. But let's talk about where that might be leading us next. Tim, what are your thoughts?
You know, I was even, as you were saying that, Jebb, I was reminded of something. So especially that last point, the leverage trading. You know, this is why those stop losses are so important. Jebb preaches it over and over and over and over. How many people have been burned by not setting those up? But I think what we're seeing potentially is a similar analogy. Jebb, remember when you got into that motorcycle accident?
Yes.
And you remember how scared you were to get back on the bike for a little while?
Yep.
Did that mean you were done completely?
Nope.
Have you ridden it since then?
Yes.
Absolutely. But it took some time before you want to get back on.
Yep.
What I'm wondering is if there's a lot of people burned and they're scared to get back in, but the thing is they will eventually. Just like that motorcycle, you don't want to just hang it up.
Yeah.
If you really love riding, you have to get through that fear, and it is probably wise to give it a little break.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we're seeing something similar with that, because
That's a good point.
We've been seeing for the last month
really good point.
leverage traders get burned.
Yeah.
But the good news, I think I was talking to Dasa this morning. Dasa got burned in a leverage trade. He made the all powerful no. He forgot to set up
the
a stop
cardinal
loss, right?
sin.
You know, but he was saying, like, you know, it's stupid and it frustrated me, but I still know I've made way more money leverage trading than I've lost. So while it is discouraging, if I think back on my past and the things I set myself up for to be successful, I'm going to get back in. I just want to make sure I do it smart now. So if anything, he's going to learn a discipline from that failure that I think we're possibly seeing thousands of people join him in that, hey, we just got burned. What can I learn from this? It wasn't Bitcoin's fault.
Yeah.
Bitcoin did not do this to me. It was me that did this to me. And that's what we preach over and over on this channel. Jebb said it. He kind of hammered this home last week. And so if you didn't hear it, I'll let Jebb say it. The idea of going on the Bitcoin doesn't make you rich.
Yeah.
You make you rich. What do you want to say there?
Yeah, well, real quick, even before I say that, because I do want to make that point again, you guys may have noticed ever since I did a face reveal, I've been wearing this watch. It's a Vincero watch. It's a Chronos S I bought over 2 years ago now. You guys probably don't see it in camera a lot. I don't know. Can it be seen in this camera right here? Let's see if it'll focus.
It's on my face.
In front of Tim.
I'll cover myself.
Let's see it. I don't know if it's going to do it. It's not going to focus. All right, well, never mind. But here's the point, guys. There's a bunch of scratches on this watch because when I was in the motorcycle accident, it got all scratched up. Still works fine. The reason I wear a scratched watch is because every day when I put it on, I remind myself to not let my pride get the better of me because that's what nearly killed me that day on that motorcycle. And I think a lot of people that have been trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and just got annihilated in leverage trades, they're going to have some memory of that reckoning, I suppose you could say. And they're not going to forget it when they've lost tens of thousands of dollars, some of them hundreds of thousands of dollars because they got liquidated. A lot of you guys have been there. I've been there. We've all been there if we've used leverage trading. The first point is obviously, guys, use stop losses. I've said this before. I'll say it again. There's one rule for leverage trading, and it is you use a stop loss every single time, no matter what. There is never a reason not to use a stop loss, period. But the second point I want to make here is that when those people get wrecked, they learn. I am of the opinion that wisdom is essentially experience. You can get wisdom by learning from someone else's experience, or you can get wisdom by learning from your own experience. Now, I can tell you my experiences, but they're much more powerful when they're your own. I was told to be careful of dropping the clutch at 13,000 RPM, but I had to learn it for my own, apparently, to get the message through my thick freaking skull. Thank God it's thick. It saved my life. But here's the point. I learned. And I think a lot of people that have been new to the cryptocurrency space in the last 6 months are being tried by fire right now. And the ones that are staying are going to build a strong foundation to move into the future. And those people that are here are the people that you were 2, 3, 4 years ago if you've been here for as long as I have. I have been here for 4 years. When I got into the cryptocurrency space, I was a crypto noob. And then I got tried by fire when the cryptocurrency bear market of 2018, 2019 started. And I had to ride through that with the YouTube channel that I was using to pay bills. I had to make it work, and a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space are having to make it work right now. So I implore you, if you're newer to the cryptocurrency space, understand that this discomfort that you're going through right now may just be the best thing that ever happened to you, because I don't respect the people that made a lot of money in a bull market. They are good. I mean, good for them. But what I respect are the people that made money when the market was tanking and they figured out how to become a skilled enough trader to do it on their own. Guys, if you want to learn more, I encourage you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is what we're all about on this channel, is empowering you to become successful cryptocurrency traders and investors through technical analysis and through all the wisdom that we can give you. If that's something you're interested in, subscribe to the channel. Tim, what are your thoughts on all this, buddy?
Man, I think that this is good. This is a good time to read that article because there are 5 things that we need to be watching on Bitcoin specifically, but how it relates to altcoins. Because there is a massive question right now in the crypto sphere of is this over? Like, is crypto season of bull run done? Like, are we about to die? Is there any chance that these come back? So this article was really interesting. I want Jebb to look at it. He's even made some of these points of his own opinion, but this is just another person backing up.
And there's data behind this. Yeah. So guys, let's jump onto my screen. Biggest ever Bitcoin monthly Bitcoin price drop. 5 gyrations to watch in Bitcoin this week. That's a fancy word. From weak hands to strong hands. Throughout the May sell-off, one process has reappeared over and over. New coins flowing to old hands. In other words, these coins that moved at higher prices near the $64,500 all-time high hands have moved again at much lower prices. Their destinations via exchanges or otherwise seem to have been large volume investors, whales, or wallets with little history of selling. Long-term hodlers are stacking through the dip. Take a look at this chart. You can see the trend. I'm not going to go into too much detail on it. You can pause and look at it for yourself if you're interested in. The phenomenon has been seen before during previous price dips, but the scale of the transfer this time has grabbed analysts' attention. It was noticed by Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow price model charts, which is something we use here on the channel quite a bit. Shout out to Plan B, who argued that whales are now taking maximum advantage of new investors' cold feet, and I think he is absolutely right. Don't get trapped in that. A lot of people are losing their Bitcoin to the whales because they're selling it to them because they're scared. Don't fall for it. You will regret it. In the chart, you see at what price level each of the total 18.7 million Bitcoin was last moved. So what happened in May? Weak hands sold 1 million Bitcoin in May at $30,000 to $35,000, which they bought in April at $55,000 to $60,000, a staggering $20 billion loss. How many people sell the bottom and buy the top? How many people wish that they wouldn't do that, but how many people keep doing it in the first place? Here's what you do. You listen to people with more experience and more wisdom than you, and you follow their lead, and you think for yourself. And you don't just take what someone says and run with it, but you take what someone says and you debate internally. Do I agree with this? Do I not agree with this? And you use logic to try and figure out where you should be buying and selling. Generally speaking, if you're contrary to the rest of the cryptocurrency market and all the FUD and the FOMO, then you will probably be doing pretty well.
But at this point, before we move to the next point, is exactly what I was just talking about.
Yep.
This idea of the individuals. We are getting scared. Because even though this is a business, we're not such a large business that anything that Crypto Jebb buys would really dramatically change the market, right? We are still individuals. You guys are individuals. As we get scared and sell our money, who are we selling our Bitcoin to? We are selling it to the people who have the deep pockets, who already control the financial market. And they're saying, you know what, I'll take your Bitcoin and I'll take a little L temporarily because I know long term I'm going to have an even bigger W. That's what we're trying to discourage you from thinking. Like, we're trying to keep you focused on the long-term effect. Like, yeah, maybe your portfolio will go down temporarily. Like, at one point, my portfolio was sitting, I think, somewhere around $50,000, and now it's sitting closer to 25.
Yep.
At the end of the day, though, I didn't lose anything. And long-term, that 25 is going to turn back into 50 and then keep soaring up into the hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
Yep. Absolutely, guys. And it's something that you can't forget. You can't forget that the people that are incredibly smart typically are not the ones following the news. You know, there's this thing that's been going around Instagram for a long time. It says Lamborghini doesn't have television commercials because they know that their clientele are not sitting around watching television. I want you to do the same thing in cryptocurrency. Don't sit around following the FUD and the FOMO of China and Elon Musk. Follow what the whales are doing. They buy the dip and they hold. Period. See how that works? It's pretty simple. Guys, let's keep going. And by the way, I'm not condescending. It is pretty hard. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just letting you know that's the way you want to go. 1 year record fear. Guys, this is a pretty big deal over here on my screen here. This is talking about the Fear and Greed Index. If you're not familiar with the Fear and Greed Index, you should be. It is a fantastic resource, and it is currently sitting at the lowest point that it has been in the last year. Right now, it is sitting at 10 out of 100. We're having one of those moments where I need to sneeze, and I'm trying to hold it in so I can be a good host. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, perfect. Guys, the Fear and Greed Index had been sitting up here around 60 to 70 for the better part of this year. But now, for the first time in the last 12 months, it is pulled back all the way to 10. It had been going down ever since the beginning of May, but we are now seeing that it is sitting at 10. This is a pretty big deal, and the reason this is a big deal is because you typically want to do what is contrary to the general emotional zeitgeist of the time. Right now, everybody's fearful, so that's when you buy. When everybody gets greedy, that's when you sell. Now, the unfortunate thing is that when people are greedy, we want to be greedy because we are naturally social creatures. We naturally like to follow what the herd is doing. That is not what is going to make you successful in crypto. Period. Let me be clear on that. If you want to buy Bitcoin, generally the time to buy Bitcoin is when everybody else is selling it because it's on a discount. Don't get mad because your favorite television is 50% off. Go buy the freaking TV and treat yourself. You know what I mean? And whenever Bitcoin is massively overextended and we're seeing the highs, the difference between highs start to diminish like we saw earlier on this year, be wary about buying and maybe think about selling. A lot of people sold at $60,000 to $65,000 and they're very happy they did. And the reason that they did is because they saw the Fear and Greed Index. Pay attention to it. It's a fantastic reference and we will be talking about it more here on the channel. Any thoughts on that before we move on, team? No? Cool. A record monthly gyration for Bitcoin. At the time of writing, BTC USD is hovering around $36,600, 1.5% up versus Sunday, but 20% lower than the same time a week ago. Traders' patience is being tested. The initial $30,000 episode, yada, yada, yada. Let's move on here. While you are concerned with FUD, Bitcoin simply continues to work as intended. This is important. Securely producing block after block like clockwork, following a deterministic supply schedule controlled by no one, unstoppable since more than a decade. Raphael Schultzcraft, CEO and Chief Technology Officer of analytics service Glassnode, countered on Monday. If you're not familiar with Glassnode, another fantastic resource. Guys, this article is full of great resources. Fear and Greed Index, the whales, and Glassnode, all of them are great. If anyone from Glassnode is watching this, we would love to be a sponsor. We would love for you to sponsor the channel. I love your service. He says, never lose sight of this amid the noise. I want to go to full screen and discuss this really quickly because this is one of the things that I have been harping on for so long, guys. He just made the point so eloquently. He said, Bitcoin simply continues to work as intended, securely producing block after block like clockwork, following a deterministic supply schedule controlled by no one, unstoppable since more than a decade. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, period. The price can do what it may, but Bitcoin is Bitcoin. And when more people get into Bitcoin, you know what that does? It increases the demand. The supply of Bitcoin is at a set increase, which is tapering off logarithmic, reverse exponentially over time. That is going to cause the price to appreciate in the long run, period. The demand is going up. The supply is increasing, but that increase is slowing down rapidly based on the stock-to-flow ratio increasing. Bitcoin now has a higher stock-to-flow ratio than gold, or maybe it's after the next halving, but it's going to be there relatively soon. Simple supply and demand economics require that Bitcoin's price go up. It's a law of economics, and it's not something that we want to forget. I want to hear what chat has to say about that, actually. Give me a 1 in chat if you agree with that, and a 2 if you don't. But I want to see what these super chats say also before we continue.
The recent super chats have not been related to what you're talking about, so we can answer them.
We can answer that later. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, real quick before I move on, make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. And by the way, we have a new sponsor of this channel, and it's called Lux Algo. If you're interested in Lux Algo, let me show you what it looks like on my screen here really quickly. This is an indicator pack that actually called this correction. Let me show you. Lux Algo right here has different buy and sell orders. You can see these orders, these signals right here. These are strong buys and these are strong sells. Look at how perfectly Lux Algo managed to time the market in this. This is something I've been using in my technical analysis recently, and as you can see, we actually had a strong sell order, strong sell signal on the day that this correction started back on May the 12th. If you're interested in getting access to this, you can find a link in the description box down below, and if you use coupon code Jebb, that's Jebb at checkout, you get 20% off. It's really helpful. There's a ton of stuff in here. There's a Discord server with all kinds of community and more information for you, something you're not going to want to miss. But let's continue here with our analysis of 5 gyrations. Stock to flow stays intact. I'm not even going to bother reading this. I'm just going to tell you what this means. Bitcoin's stock to flow model talks about how quickly Bitcoin is created versus how quickly Bitcoin versus how much Bitcoin is in existence. Stock to flow is simply this. Stock to flow is the ratio of how many years it would take with the current production to recreate the current supply. So if there's 100 million Bitcoin in existence, there's not, but let's say there is, and there's 1 million being created every single year, the stock to flow ratio is 100, because at a million a year and 100 million, it would take 100 years, 100 times a million to recreate the current supply. That's all it means. It's really simple. Don't worry about it. Don't make it more complicated than it is. Stock to flow ratio, the higher the number, the more scarce the commodity. The more scarce the commodity, the easier it is to store value over time. And that's why Bitcoin has value, is because it has a limited supply and it retains that over time. The point the article is making here is this. No matter what the price does, the stock to flow model is intact. No matter what the price does, Bitcoin still has a very high stock to flow model, very high stock to flow ratio, which based on simple economics demands the price go higher if the demand continues to rise, which it is. And the other point it's making here is that even though we've had this big correction, we're still on track for the price predictions that stock to flow makes from Plan B. But that's actually, I will show this really quickly. Let's jump on here. Stock to flow ratio. Let's see. Let me grab up stock to flow Plan B. Essentially, what they're saying here is this. Stock to flow ratio. I don't know why it doesn't want to show it to me. Anyway, we will talk about that here later on the stream. But here's the point. Stock to flow ratio is still on track for where we think that Bitcoin should be. Mining setup for a major shakeup. Let's talk about this because this is something that we mentioned a little bit earlier, but it is still pretty important. The old adage, price follows the hash rate, may need some extra time to prove itself to hopeful bulls. This week, Bitcoin network fundamentals are still making sense of recent events, and their impact on miners appears to be more widespread than initially thought. According to data from various resources, including mining pool stats, Bitcoin's hashing rate currently measures 136.7 exahashes per second, around 30 exahashes below all-time high. You can see right here that it has decreased. Other estimates put the hash rate more than 10 exahash higher, but a precise figure is ultimately impossible to attain. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's next automated difficulty readjustment due in 6 days' time will open up mining to more potential hashing power, incentivizing miners to come on board. Let's go to full screen and break that down in case that wasn't very clear. Whenever Bitcoin's price drops, miners that are not very efficient have to shut down their operations because they're no longer profitable. You've got miners down here in the 1% category where they're just cranking away. Like, they got cheap electricity, they got easy air conditioning, they got cheap hardware. They're just making a ton of money. They're making bank. And then you got these guys up here that are just barely getting by. Those guys that are just barely getting by, when the price drops, they're not profitable anymore. They got to shut those mining rigs down because they're losing money whenever they're spending electricity on mining. Those guys shut down. That's why the hashing rate went down. However, because hash went down, because total network hash rate went down roughly, 20%, 30%, because that happened, the difficulty readjustment that happens every 2 weeks on Bitcoin is going to make it easier to mine Bitcoin because there's less hash rate, which is going to make Bitcoin mining more profitable, which could allow those Bitcoin miners to turn back on, bringing more hash rate to the ecosystem and causing the price to rally. You might need to watch that twice. I understand that was a lot. If you're new to the cryptocurrency space, don't worry about it. Just understand that when this difficulty readjustment changes, it could cause Bitcoin's price to increase. That is expected to happen in the next week or so. Something to be paying attention to. So let's go to full screen here really quickly, and let's discuss this. There are a plethora of factors going into Bitcoin's short-term price right now. The point I want you to take away from this stream is this. No matter what impacts Bitcoin's short-term price, Bitcoin's long-term price is impacted by one thing. Bitcoin. Its fundamentals. Period. Bitcoin's use case in a capitalistic market that is adopted through economic incentives is continuing to become more valuable in the eyes of the general public. Period. China can do whatever it wants. Elon Musk can say whatever he wants, but it doesn't change the fact that Bitcoin is more valuable today because it is in the hands of more people today than it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. When I got into the cryptocurrency space, Bitcoin was trading at $3,000, and that was considered a lot. That was the all-time high. Bitcoin was worth $100 billion back then. Not even. It was worth $60 billion. Not even that. It was worth $40 billion. Now Bitcoin pulls back to 30K and everybody freaks out. You know how happy any other industry would be to 10x in 4 years and that be the low? That doesn't happen. The reason it doesn't happen is because the other industries in our world, the industrials, the rails, the tech companies, the social media, all of them, they've already reached peak capacity. They've already penetrated the market. Everybody uses Facebook. Everybody uses YouTube. Those companies can't 10x. Bitcoin has not. Why? Bitcoin is able to grow so quickly because it is still so far away from mass adoption. And for us who were here early, that is a very good thing because it means that when we buy Bitcoin today, it could be worth 10, 20, 30 times more in the future because it has not yet touched everyone. Most people that know what Bitcoin is have only ever heard the word. They don't have any idea how it works or why it matters to them, but that is changing. And those fundamentals over time are the things that will drive long-term price action. We can talk all day about miners and hash rate and all of this stuff, and it's interesting and it's important, and I want you to know about it. But at the end of the day, it just does not matter in comparison and in light of the long-term fundamentals of Bitcoin and the fact that they are growing and increasing in their value every single day. Please do not forget that, because if you do, 10 years from now, you're going to look back on this time and you're going to be like the people that were here 10 years ago now that didn't buy and they wish they had of. Don't fall into that boat. I make my peace. Let's see what is going on in chat.
Nice. A lot of people just going back and forth on Bitcoin. I think so. There's a lot of people in chat that I think fall into the boat of it's almost like they want, like it's like you guys want Bitcoin to work out well. You're just not convinced yet that it will, which is okay. That's I think a place that every person has to get to and wrestle with. But in case you were new and you weren't here in the beginning of the show, I don't even talk about the beginning. We talked about it probably midway through. Learning from the history of something is very valuable. Yeah. And so there was an article we talked about a little bit earlier that says that Bitcoin has died now 400 times. So if you're sitting here worried, oh no, Bitcoin is dead, I've made a massive mistake. Maybe you're like me and you have family members who have kind of been like, Tim, what the heck? You're an idiot. Why would you invest in Bitcoin? It's going to die out soon. It's very real. The pressure to listen to other people despite the fact they don't really know what they're talking about, is real, right? But what's more important is to look at the history. And something Jebb has told me and I hold fast to is a fad lasts how long, Jebb?
A fad does not last 12 years.
It does not last 12 years.
That's the way that goes.
And Bitcoin has lasted that long. Bitcoin is not dying. It is not going anywhere. In fact, this death that is going through isn't even the worst death it's had.
Nope.
It has always bounced back. It will continue to bounce back. And that has to go with, I've seen it in the comments, people have talked about reading the Bitcoin Standard. If you're looking for a book to read to understand why Bitcoin is such a needed asset in this world, go read the Bitcoin Standard.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you, when you finish that book, you will walk away saying, all right, what can I afford to go buy in Bitcoin right now? I don't care if the price is low or high or whatever. I need to get Bitcoin.
Yeah, guys, I remember when I was a freshman in high school, freshman in college, and then, I dropped out as the story goes. But Bitcoin was sitting at $3,000 at the time. It had gone to $20,000, went down to $6,000, traded sideways, then hit $3,000. I had a lot of my friends come up to me, and I was running this YouTube channel at the time, and I was doing a little bit of stuff, and I was having fun making YouTube. Everybody was like, "Oh, Jebb, you're gonna do this for your career?" But Bitcoin just went down 85%. But Bitcoin's been crashing for over a year. But Bitcoin. And I said, yes, but Bitcoin. And I said it knowing what the future of Bitcoin held. I said it understanding that Bitcoin solves a real problem in the world. I said it understanding that industries go through corrections. That is simply the name of the game. Those same people that were saying, "Oh, Jebb, I feel so sorry for you," were at the opening of our office when we had a party to celebrate how well we've been doing because Bitcoin has been successful. Bitcoin has proven time and time again that no matter how big the correction, the rally will always be bigger. Anyone that has held Bitcoin for more than 2 years is in profit right now. And the reason they are is because they bet on the long term and not on the short term. They didn't get so caught up in, I want a Lambo in the next 2 weeks. And they said, no, I'm going to make a life-changing decision right now to buy into an appreciating asset that is contrary to everything our modern world knows. And they've been very thankful that they have. And because of that, they're now very wealthy and successful. If that is what you want to be, if that is where you see yourself in 2, 3, 4 years' time, I encourage you, buy Bitcoin, make the most of this dip, subscribe to our channel and other channels here on cryptocurrency. Educate yourself, read the Bitcoin Standard, sign up for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy in the description box down below, and I don't know, do a backflip or something. Have fun, guys. There's nothing to be worried about here.
Another thing I think that I would like for you to respond to, Jebb, is I've seen a couple comments that kind of get this. I'm not going to read an exact comment because there's been a couple that have related this information, and I think there's probably a lot of people watching this stream that are not commenting who potentially have this thought in their brain. I know I've ran into several people with this idea. And that is that Bitcoin, even though it's sitting pretty low in comparison to where it has been, in the last couple months, they still see that price being so high, and they're worried that they won't be able to make money as much from Bitcoin as they could from these coins like Cardano that's only like $1.40 something, or even Ethereum, and as high as it is, it's only sitting right around 23, 24,000. So Jebb, what would you say to someone whose rationale is, as great as I might see Bitcoin being in the future, I just would make more money off of these smaller coins?
You can make a lot of money off of penny stocks also, but I would be very surprised if a penny stock that is trying to make phones is able to compete with Apple. It happens. It's a 1 in a million shot, though, because the big dog is the big dog for a reason. The whole David and Goliath story happens. Make no mistake. At one point, IBM was Goliath and Apple was David. When Apple was first started out of a garage, many people were skeptical of it. It went on to make life-changing amounts of money for the people that were involved in that startup. That is the exception, not the rule. A lot of these small-cap altcoins that people want to buy into are trying to compete with Bitcoin when they simply can't. There is potentially more money to be made in them. Yes, they might go into a big rally. Yes, they might have a big pump. They're built on nothing. They cannot compete with Bitcoin. I'm not talking about Ethereum. I'm not talking about Cardano. Those two do not try to do what Bitcoin is doing, which is being a cryptocurrency. They have other use cases. But a lot of these smaller cap altcoins that are trying to compete with Bitcoin in the payments industry or in the limited supply digital cash industry simply don't have the ability to do so. I'm not going to be able to go out and compete with Apple in their own game. I'm just not. I'm not able to do that. I don't have $250 billion worth of cash on hand and 500,000 employees. What I can do, though, is I can create a business that's doing something new or doing something different. That's what some altcoins are doing, and more power to them. But the ones that are trying to compete with Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano or some of these other big dogs, they might manage to do it. It would be very unlikely, though. I want you to look at each one of these cryptocurrencies that you invest in very similar to the way you would look at a company. Is this something that is going to solve a real-world problem, and is this real-world problem going to bring returns to the investor, who is you? Because that's the point, is that you're trying to make money in these investments. You got to understand why they are in existence in the first place. It's a great question.
Another question, and I think after this question, we're going to answer some super chats and then close out the stream with our price predictions for Friday. But I've seen a couple comments. Trust me, I'm reading the comments. I will ask the questions that need to be asked. And so here's what you guys are waiting for. Jebb, what is the chance that what we are seeing is just a bull trap and not actually anything substantial?
The little bounce we're seeing right now?
Yes.
High. I think that's very possible. You guys are going to see my price predictions here in a minute. Frankly, we were in a hurry. I'm not very confident in them. So if you see a contradiction here, listen to what I'm saying now, not the price predictions. Bitcoin right now is in a big correction. Yeah, I'm just speaking from experience here, guys. I have a feeling that what we're seeing right now is a bull trap, but at the same time, it's very hard to tell because we don't know where Bitcoin's bottom is. I would be surprised if Bitcoin's bottom is fully in yet. I'm not saying it's going to go below 30. I personally don't believe it's going to, but I could also see us trading sideways down here for a long time. We saw the same thing happen in the end of 2018, early 2019. After we had a 50% correction, we traded sideways for a little while, shook out the weak hands. The cryptocurrency space got really boring. And guys, if you didn't know, boredom is a fantastic foundation for price gains because it means that we're built on a solid foundation and we're not rallying on FOMO. We're rallying on fundamentals, which is what we want to be doing. I think that's a question a lot of people are asking. That's a good one, Tim.
Yeah, that's a good answer, I think, too. And up, for debate, and there's no guarantee on that answer whatsoever. And you guys are going to see that here in the predictions in just a second. All right. Some questions that we have not gotten to yet, and some of these are statements and not necessarily questions, but we're going to be as quick as possible with them. Jeanette asked, "Hi, Jebb, Tim, and Smay. Love your show. Any thoughts on ADA and XLM?" I think we've given answers on XLM recently. Yeah, definitely Cardano.
XLM, thumbs down.
You heard it here first,
That's
folks.
Smay. Did you guys hear that? Look.
You heard what Smay said?
ADA, thumbs up. XLM, thumbs down.
You're not even in frame.
Oh, my gosh.
That's great.
Well, they heard him, man.
That's all
It's
right.
the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts.
Real quick, what are your thoughts? Very
I
quickly.
agree with him.
Yeah.
I totally agree with him.
Gotcha. Next one, tall blonde girl, and I think I handled this earlier, but I'm gonna read it because it was a super chat. Are we not gonna talk about the fact that everything is mooning right now? We love you, Jebb, Smay. Please sing. So the beginning of that, and we talked about it in chat. As far as things are mooning right now, we saw a bounce back from the correction. Not sure that's the definition of mooning. And Jebb, you can tell me if you disagree with that.
I agree with you, Tim.
But I talked with her in chat. She's on the same page now.
Gotcha.
As far as Smay singing, we'll see. Not today.
He sang on Instagram. Go follow
Yeah.
us on Instagram. He sang on Instagram last week.
Next question from Matthew. Here's some money for Satchels. Oh yeah, pizza place. Go
Satchels
Gators!
Pizza.
Appreciate the channel's emphasis on big picture perspective.
We got a local in hat.
Yeah, and easy to follow. TA. The night is always darkest before the dawn. Let's get up. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
For those of you who are not from Gainesville, Satchels is a pizza place here in town.
You know, my banker is
Super
actually
good.
our banker's good friends with
Really?
Satchel himself.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
I've never been there
You
either.
gotta try it. You
It's
gotta try
really
it.
good though.
All right, Corey says, Jebb, hope this week finds you well. God bless.
Well, thank you. God bless you,
You too,
my friend.
Corey. And then the last one, Aaron. When will you say that bull run is over, or does it matter that Glassnode and others on-chain data broke because of the 50% dip?
So, I would want to see us in a downtrend like this for several more weeks before I start calling a bear market, simply because I know how much weight my voice carries in the cryptocurrency space. I don't want to start freaking people out with that. Technically speaking, we are already in a bear market based on the fact that we're seeing lower highs and lower lows on the weekly chart. That, however, doesn't necessarily encapsulate the full picture because that doesn't take into account the fact that many people in the cryptocurrency space right now are sitting with cash on the side and they're waiting to buy back in, and the institutions are buying, and the whales are buying, and all these other things that we've discussed. So, yeah.
All right.
Cool beans.
Last one, and then we will get to our price predictions. And that is from Nathan. He says, thoughts on Sunday swaps, initial stake offering tomorrow on Cardano. Thoughts on ISOs in general, question mark.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that project in particular, guys. The one thing that we don't really do here on this channel, we try and cover as much as possible. We don't really go into a lot of the smaller cap altcoins because I personally believe that it is more beneficial for you and is a better use of your time for me to teach you how to think, not what to think. So I don't follow all the little ISOs and all the little staking projects and all the little this, that, and the other. I think they might be good. I just don't know. But that's not really what we're about, so it's hard for me to give you a good answer on that because I simply don't know. I'm going to tell you guys when I don't know something and I don't know that one.
Yep. All right. Well, now we're going to move to the end of the show where, if you are new, every Monday we predict as a game. Please don't make any trading information.
Yes,
based
please
off
don't. This is a
as
game.
Jebb even admitted, he locked this vote in earlier, and he actually might not even agree with his own vote. But
we had like 2 minutes. Our marketing director stole my laptop, so we were scrambling and trying to find a computer for me to record on.
Oh my gosh,
I
Smee.
did mine while my tooth was being worked on.
You are a champ there,
All right.
Smee.
All right.
right, here we go.
Very much last minute.
Here we go. Yeah, Josh Haynes just commented, hashtag
the beard, chop the
chop
tree. Let's go.
Josh, we love you anyway.
We love you.
You know,
I love
Jebb
you.
definitely loves you.
I love you.
I want you to know I love you, even though
I love you, my
you've
friend.
never been a supporter of me. That's okay. Anyway, so here's how it's going to go. We're a little bit different. Jebb, I want you to say which ones you actually agree with of yours and which ones you're like, I think I was off on that one.
Yeah, I need to rethink all of them.
That being said, they are locked in, though.
Okay.
So Smee came with the pessimistic view. Cardano, according to Smee, is going to be sitting at $1.
Ooh.
So he's, very, even though he still says thumbs up in the long run, it's thumbs down in the short term.
Dang.
Ethereum, he said 1,900. Okay, and then Bitcoin, he says 30,000.
Ooh.
Very interesting choices. Let us know if you agree with Smee.
I can see it. That's the thing. I can see it.
I can at the moment in the market, you can see just about anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Jebb said $1.35 on Cardano. Do you like that prediction, or you think it's high?
That one I'm somewhat confident on.
Okay, $1.35 for Cardano. He is confident on.
I'm somewhat.
I'll give him
confident.
Give him a benefit of the doubt that that's a check mark, meaning he likes it.
I said
for
somewhat,
Ethereum,
to
he
be
said
clear.
2,600.
2,600. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been able to put too much thought into it because we haven't done any analysis on it yet. Sure, fine.
You're standby. All right, and the last one you said 40,000.
Yeah, I could see that. I actually think that's high. So put an X by that.
Put an X by that one.
I
What
think
do
that's
you
high.
realistically think?
I honestly, I want to say like 35, 36.
And this is assuming that we're kind of in a bear trap or bull
Yeah.
trap at the moment,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So my predictions: I am back to being the highest. For a while there, I was the lowest or the middle or something. I am back to being the highest on all three, and I'll tell you briefly why. The first one, Cardano, I believe is going to be sitting at about $1.80 on Friday. Ethereum, I think, is going to be sitting closer to 2,800. And Bitcoin, I believe, will be sitting closer to the $42,000 mark. And here's the thing: if we are in a bull trap, maybe we are. But I did see a lot of movement that we have not been seeing recently, and I believe that if you look at the technical analysis, there's a different one of the peaks that we had like 2 times ago is sitting around these numbers. I believe that we are going to make it back to that number by Friday. It doesn't mean we're going to stay there long term. However, I do think someone says take off Tim's hat. Okay, yeah. Well, that's what I'm wearing today.
I'm trying to get you to do stuff to you.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Do it. Do it.
I can see the market crashing, but here's the thing. At the same time, as I said earlier, I think about all you can do FUD-wise, it's hit the wall. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any ammunition left to throw at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano.
Yep.
Also, someone mentioned in chat, they're like, hey, why does it seem like every time Bitcoin moves, the other coins, that's what happens. So that's my prediction is really, it was based off of that, what Bitcoin's going to do. I think it's going to sit somewhere close to that 42,000. And if it does, Ethereum should be sitting around 28 and Cardano at 180. But anything's possible. Let us know who you agree with and check back in on Friday at 9:30 to see who won.
Absolutely, guys. If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps out the channel when you do that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we take integrity very seriously here. It is our job to humbly bring you the best quality information that we can every single day and teach you based on our own experience how to become a successful cryptocurrency trader, investor, and operative here in this market. If you'd like to learn more about technical analysis, you can do so by joining the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy with the link in the description box down below, and join our 4,000 students who are learning every single day how to do analysis on these markets so that they can profit in them. If you're interested in trading, you can sign up for Bybit. The link for that is down below as well. It's a fantastic cryptocurrency exchange, the one that we personally recommend. Lux Algo is a fantastic indicator pack, which you can check out with the link in the description box down below. Also, all of those are obviously affiliate links. They do help to keep myself and our staff employed here so that we can bring you the best quality information every single day. We very much appreciate everyone who has used one of those links. You're helping to support our business here. Guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.